Welcome back, all my 40K fanatics. I'm DJ here at Tim's Nation to bring you our weekly battle report. As I said, I have a little Necron build that is built up by my kids that I've really wanted to get on the table before trying this new detachment out, because the new detachment looks nasty, and I'm fixing up a couple of models to bring that to you guys on Monday. Today, I'm playing my son's list that they built for me, and I will be joined with Mr. Nico, who is bringing the brand new Dark Angels detachment.
Yep. It's not painted, guys, so...
No, this is an opportunity. We're going to be featuring that new Dark Angels detachment in all of its glory, because I'm a little concerned right now. I got a bunch of little 5-mans. I do have the Silent King.
You do?
And you have a lot more toys. So first things first, the new Dark Angels detachment. What is the primary gimmick of this detachment? Like, how does this thing want to win?
It's like combined assault. So essentially, you want your Raven Wing to be in combat to increase your chances of Deathwing getting in combat.
Excellent. So and that's one thing. So you have Deathwing and what is it? What's the other one? I'm sorry.
Ravenwing.
Ravenwing. Deathwing and Ravenwing combined in there. So those are kind of expensive units, so it doesn't give you a lot of room for extras.
No.
So
No,
that's one of my concerns with the new Necron detachment, is because, like you said, like you're stuck down to a couple little 5-mans to do secondaries on. Is this an army you think that goes more towards the fixed objectives over time, or is this still a tactical draw cards?
Don't ask me questions like that, man. Let's play with Warhammer.
All right. Well, before we play Warhammer, we need to know we're playing here today. So, Nico, let's talk about your list.
All right. So I have Azrael as my warlord. I have a lieutenant. The lieutenant and Azrael will be on a 10-man Hellblaster squad. I have a unit of infiltrators, a unit of scouts. They're both fully kitted. I have 2 units of Deathwing. One's going to be with the swords. One's going to be with the mace. I have 2 units of 3 Black Knights. I have 1 unit of Ravenwing Command Squad, and the champion is going to have an enhancement called Calibanite Armament, so +1 damage on his melee weapon. I have a Dark Shroud, a Redemptor, and a good old Storm Raven.
All right, for my army, if you want to know more about it, there is a private video put up of my children rolling dice and selecting these units. And we had a whole formula, and the result is this. So are we playing the Awakened Dynasty today? More or less for a little bit extra resilience behind these units, so I can try and play a good secondary game. I do have a good old Wraith Star with Crypt Thralls and Technomancers, so I'm going to make them super resilient, backed up by a Canoptic Reanimator. We also have 2 Canoptic Spiders with a 6-pack of Scarabs, a 5-man squad of Immortals that is going to have a Psychomancer attached to him. Psychomancer taking the enhancement to give me +1 to hit in an aura. 3-man squad of Tomb Blades, 3 Locust Heavies with Locust Lord, 4 5-mans, 1 of the Flayed Ones, 1 of the Death Marks, and 2 of the Lich Guard, 1 with sword and 1 with shields. And then we also have an Overlord with Translocation Shroud. I haven't decided where he's going yet. And last but surely not least, we're bringing the Silent King. So my list is kind of a little bit of a pish-posh. I'm looking forward to seeing, though, this Dark Angels detachment and what it can do. Every time, I mean, from what I see, anytime Dark Angels hit the table, it's resilience, resilience, resilience. So
there's a lot of -1 damage in my list for sure. I have 4 units with -1 damage.
-1's damage is huge, especially when you have 3 wound models. So now that 2 damage.
The Knights are 4 wounds.
And the Knights are 4 wounds. The Biters?
Yeah. No. The
Terminators?
The Terminators,
oh,
yeah.
Wow. Oh, wow. So that's even more of a nightmare. That's even more of a nightmare for 2 damage weapons, because there's a lot of, for my list, I do have a lot of 2 damage weapons. The biggest thing is like the Locust Heavies and the Silent King that could pick up a single model, but that's a lot of fire support dedicated to taking down a single model. So that's going to be, it's really going to pull a lot of my resources. So we'll see how this whole thing breaks out.
Sure.
All right. Odd or even, my friend?
Even.
And it is odd. Do you have any infiltrators? 2. You have 2 squads of infiltrators. I have 1, so I will elect to deploy first, and we'll be back after deployment.
Yep.
All right, we are deployed. Nico, talk to us about what we are doing here today.
Today we're going to play Crucible Battle, Fog of War. So for the first battle round, we're going to have the benefit of cover. We're not going to be able to benefit from core stratagems. and take and hold. So hold 1, hold 2, hold 3, 5 points each.
And most importantly, we were playing the glorious game of Warhammer 40,000. All right, so deploying. This is interesting. Interesting dynamic came out of this is with my son's list. I have a lot of different facets I can play from. So depending on where I get hit, I can maybe retool my game. It's kind of interesting. We'll see how that works, if that works out. For the most part, I kind of just played back. Silent King is up here right on the line with the Reanimator to be able to give me some protection. And I got the Flayed Ones just outside my deployment zone, able to move up on either objective and just kind of zone out that corner a little bit. Wraiths are back here because they have the Veil on the Technomancer, and our Immortals, Overlord, and their buddy the Psychomancer is holding home field. Locust Heavies in the back, Scarabs, Spiders in the back, Tomb Blades ready to scout up forward or away, and a Shielded Lich Guard to kind of play on this objective hopefully later in the game. Maybe that 4-up invul will come in handy. Nico, what do we got?
I've got the Dreadnought and Azrael's unit of Hellblasters with the Lieutenant in the Storm Raven. I've got some bikes on the line, infiltrating, infiltrators and scouts, and then I've got a Dark Shroud right there. Everything else is up in the air.
Yep, the 2 Terminators. For me, I just have the 5-man Death Marks. I decided to put those in Deep Strike because, well, they can. All right, so Nico, do you want to go first or second in this game? How are you feeling about it?
I probably want to go second.
All right, let's see. Got a dice?
I do. I'm just putting down my...
Beat a 3. No, that's not beating a 3. Try again. A 2 beats a 1. So, Nico, you'll be going first. I have 1 scout move, and then it's time to play the game.
All right, guys. For this battle round, I had Extend Battle Lines and Overwhelming Force. So we just moved some guys, got some better positioning. Those guys are on the bottom floor. Everything else just, again, staged, moved around, touched this objective to get Extend Battle Lines, and then I flipped it back to DJ and his Necrons.
And the standoff continues. So, basically, I mirrored what Nico did. So I did pick up the Wraiths at the end of the turn. For my turn, I had Containment and Assassinate. So they're landing right there, and they're going to contain. Shimmied around a little bit, brought the Reanimator over here, got Lich Guard in position, moved the Flayed Ones up to attack the center, and then just kind of repositioned a couple of things back here, as well as moved the Tomb Blades to contain over here. That's it. We're going to pass this back to Nico and let the standoff continue with getting my 6 on containment.
All right, guys. I took Sabotage and no prisoners. Not took, but you get the point.
The cards decided.
Yes, the cards decided. Those guys moved up, going up there. That's all I did, really.
No deep strikes.
Didn't deep strike anything.
You did
at least not yet.
You did pick up the scouts at the end of my turn, but you just put them.
I did, but then I put them right back down.
Okay.
That's all we got. And we're going to go on to the shooting phase. All right, guys. So one thing I did not declare. So I brought these guys in. They are sabotaging, and they're just going to be now on that objective probably for the whole game.
Something about Terminators being more survivable than the little 2-wound Marines about sabotaging. Seems a lot safer.
It definitely does. We moved up here. I shot the Flayed Ones off Zibboard, and that's it.
All right, so for this turn, I have Sabotage and Area Denial. So the race moved over here, and they're going to start the Sabotage. I did bring the Death Marks in to kind of provide a little bit of a screen so I can protect that out. Move the Lich Guard up to center and to meet these Dark Angels, and they were met by a rapid ingressing squad of Terminators with mace. So that might mess with my plans a little bit for Area Denial. I did move the Silent King up. He's going to take some artillery shots and some pop shots in there. And that was really about it. Oh, I did move the Tomb Blades up. They're going to shoot and then, do their fire and fade mechanic. So that's going to be it. We're going to do some shooting and see what type of damage we can dish out there. So shooting-wise was not impressive. We didn't really have very much. King did his artillery shots and was the only one to basically pick up a bike. Then we charged in. We did take out one. The Terminators heroically intervened. I knew it was coming. And I was still, hopeful maybe Nico would roll, double ones. Instead, he honored me with a pair of sixes. So over here, I shot one bike. Over here, I slayed one Terminator, and I did lose the Lich Guard. So I won't get area denial, so I'm going to pitch that for a command point. But there is other reasons. If I didn't charge in, I could have used them as a shield. But I had some other ideas and options that I'm looking into. We'll see if that plays out, and I will say it when it happens. But we're going to kick it over to Nico and his top of three.
All right, guys. I drew Cleanse and Behind Enemy Lines. So
it's time to play some Warhammer.
Yes, it is. Actually,
the moment you've all been waiting for.
I have
3 turns in.
Some movement I did. So I barfed a bunch of Dark Angels right here. And then kind of moved everyone up. These guys are going to be cleansing. These scouts are going to be cleansing. That's
we
about
got
it.
An Overwatch over here. The Terminators moved up, and I Overwatched with the King. And I got one of the rocks through. And then Nico spends a command point to re-roll it and goes, no, you didn't. So close, so close to picking off a Terminator.
All right, guys. We're going to go into shooting phase. All right, guys. We're at the end of the shooting phase. The Silent King is gone. He said bye-bye.
Yeah, Hellblasters. I underestimated. I thought I could do it.
Death marks are gone. No outside of that, everything else has kind of just stayed where it is. We do have a charge, and I did damage some spiders. I'm going to try to charge. It's a 9-inch charge right into there. Let's go. All right, guys. Spent 2 CP to try to make some charges. It was kind of a long shot. I wanted to see if I could do it. Definitely overkilled the Silent King. Bit of a miscalculation there, but that's really all I had to kill. So
that means that you did not get behind enemy lines. You're pitching that for a command point.
I scored cleanse twice.
And got cleanse. All right, my turn. Let's see how I get out of this mess. So for this turn, I got secure no man's land and no prisoners. So we are also going to join suit and bring some stuff forward. We moved the wraiths, and we were able to go slightly over, slightly back, and did we're able to put 5 mortal wounds onto the Redemptor. What's he down to now? 5?
Yep.
So good place to start. Good place to start.
Well, I did hazardous too.
Oh yeah, and the hazardous damage. That's right. Hellblasters. Some more went down. Now there's only 4 actual Hellblasters in the unit, and they overwatched and tried to, and they did 2 wounds to a locust. So we're still here. Everyone else moved up, so we can kind of get aggressive and try and pick up some no prisoner points. So we're going to be pouring down a whole bunch of hate in this area and see what we can do. I mean, with the way things are going, Nico just might give me them as a no prisoner point all by himself. That is, they keep blowing themselves up. I did move the Tomb Blades out. It's going to be time for them to go. They're going to shoot and then scoot up onto the objective marker, taking it away to give me secure no man's land, and then that's probably going to be the end of their game. They've scored quite a bit of points for me, though. All right, let's do some shooting in here and see what we can make happen. So shooting was a little underwhelming in some areas and massively impressive in others. The Locust Heavies were able to put a heavy hurting, dropping the Raven down to 4 wounds. 2 shots went through. Even with the damage reduction, it was still 10 damage. Brought the Spiders into the Terminators. We're able to pick one up with them. The Immortals didn't do too much, so we need to we're going to need to charge in there and get these Terminators out of my backfield. And I'm not sure what to do about these guys. I think I might have to charge a Reanimator in there and try and mess them up. Over here, I don't think we got any damage through on the Dreadnought either. So we're going to charge him and see if we can't just force a little bit of low AP damage through. Yeah, that's really about it. So, all right, let's do some charges and see what happens. So fighting wise, we got him down to 2. We bracketed him. He punched us, only did 2 damage. So that was good, but he's still there. Not good on the no prisoners turn. Obviously, the Raven's live. We couldn't get into him. The plan was hopefully pick him up and touch the Raven. And not quite. Not quite. Armor of Contempt, reduce the AP, and that was it. Over here, we're down to 2 Terminators. One's hiding over here. There he is. Because I chose to take my commanding kind of squad and just take out the 2 bikes. I needed the no prisoner points. And then the Canoptic Reanimator chose to go back to the objective and hang out here. As far as the Terminators, we did blow up a Scarab, took out a Terminator, but then fighting, we were only able to just wound a guy. Wasn't expecting much from the Scarabs, but the Spiders, they got walled by the 4-ups, and we're not able to get damage through, and also the damage reduction kind of sucks. Over here, when we shot, we moved, we tagged that. So this turn, we're going to get the 5 on Secure No Man's Land, but unfortunately only 2 points on No Prisoners for 1 unit kill, and we'll send it over to Nico.
All right, guys. So drew Storm, Hostile Objective, and Secure No Man's Land. I actually drew Mark for Death as well, but I discarded in the command phase for a CP. Got Storm, Hostile. So
my Tomb Blades are going to survive this. There's no way Tomb
Storm Hostile is going to be from over here.
There's no way. Tomb Blades are going to live forever.
And then we've got just some objectives moved up, kind of come after some characters. Terminators fell back, 1 died. These guys moved up. Really, that's where we're at. So we're going to go into the shooting phase, and the oath target is the Spiders because I hate them. All right, guys, into the shooting phase. We were able to take some units down. Spiders are gone. He did reanimate over here with the Locusts.
Oh yeah, Spiders went down quick. I was ready to use the CP there to bring 1 back, and then just no.
Yep. Other than that, really just took down this Immortals unit. We're hoping to charge in,
and that was
get some damage.
Guys, those Laz Talons. That was came from all the way back here.
Yeah.
And even one of them couldn't. No. They shot at them. What shot at them?
The Dreadnought too.
The Dreadnought in combat.
Too. Yeah.
-1 to hit. Terrible.
There we are. Now we charge. Fight phase done. Bikes are gone. Scarab's alive on 2 wounds. Only 1 character alive back in this unit now. 1 Wraith died. We slapsticks. That's about it. Going back to DJ's turn.
Got him down to 1, so we're making progress. Give me that bring it down now. Now's the time for bring it down.
We have secured No Man's, and we've stormed Hostile for 9 on our secondary, and that'll be it.
We're looking at bring it down and behind enemy lines. I don't really feel like I'm going to be able to get behind enemy lines, but bring it down was exactly what I need. I spent my only command point to shuffle out. I think it was secure cleanse. Cleanse is what it was. And I got bring it down. So he's at 1 wound. He's at 2 wounds. Plan is we're going to try and blow up this Scarab and finish him off. Hopefully that'll do it. We need at least a 2 there. And then over here, we got some pistols. So if we get 1 devastating wound through, we finish him off, and then we can just put our heart and soul into these bikes. Other than that, Locusts move up. I'm going to be doing try and do some damage to these Terminators over here. Bless you. Before I bring in the Lich Guard. All right. Time to do some shooting. Dev wound pistols be good. We got 4 devastating wounds that were enough, so we only needed 1. Picked up the Dreadnought, so that's 1 down. Now it's a matter to see if this Scarab could do the job and take out the Storm Raven. We did shoot the Locust Heavy Destroyers at these Terminators, and 3 hits, 3 wounds, 3 dead. And so that's going to make it a little easier on the Lich Guard if they charge in there, since they're not exactly, 1 damage. I guess even 2 damage would be 1 damage against them. So we're going to do some fighting, but before we charge or anything, let's just see. Does the Scarab succeed? So I'm hitting a vehicle. I get +1, so it's guaranteed at least a 2. If I roll a 5 or 6, it's flat 3 mortal wounds. There's a 5. Flat 3. And it doesn't explode. All right. Storm Raven down. We'll go into the charges. So we did a little bit of damage over here. Wraiths picked up pretty much the squad and just leaving the characters behind, and did a little damage to the Apothecary. So we're looking decent over there. And then as well in combat, we picked up the whole squad. Just Azrael is left to fight us. Our Lich Guard
turn, these guys pick up.
Our Lich Guard did fail the charge, so we'll have to see that in turn 5 and see if we can't just score big in there. We did get bring it down, but only for 4 points, and then we pitched behind enemy lines to gain a command point. All right, that's it. Over to Nico and his turn 5.
All right, guys. So I drew recover assets and contain. I did fail the battle shock here, but because I failed that battle shock, I reacted by playing a stratagem called overpowering exaction. So I made these guys take a battle shock at -1, and they failed. So I kept my 15 on primary because I hold there, and hold my home. So we've got shooting phase starting, recovering assets, containing, recovering assets. I fell back just to hold the objective and stop DJ from getting all of his primary.
I score primary at the end of my turn because I go second. So I will still be able to get some primary.
Well, I scored 15.
You did.
It was a good.
And I don't just absolutely just, I have to do something about them. I can't leave them to just score points. So now I don't just destroy them in my turn.
That is correct.
Or your turn, I'm sorry. All right,
so, here we go. Gonna start our shooting. All right, my shooting phase. I didn't have a shooting phase, guys. Everything fell back and nothing could shoot. And Terminators don't shoot because they're Deathwing. All right, fight phase. Here, we slap sticks. Here, we slap sticks. On a DJ's turn, I'm going to possibly score recover assets, but I scored containment.
So for my last turn, I spent one of my command point to shuffle away Defend Stronghold to go after more points, and I was rewarded with recover assets, so that will take me from 3 points to scoring, 3 points. So we're going to recover assets with these guys in the middle. And we're going to recover recover assets with the reanimator. Everyone else, we're going to take our Locust, try and take down the flying DJ booth, charge if necessary, just to stop one of Nico's recover assets and reduce that score a little bit. All right, let's do some damage, and we'll come back with a final score. All right, guys, so we are complete. Didn't do anything into here, wanted to recover those assets. And then, like I said, move the Locust up, and the Locust shooting alone was enough to pick up that flying DJ booth. So that stopped the recover assets. We did lose the Lich Guard back over here. Terminators finished him off. We did, like I said, we lost the Lich Guard, but we got Azrael. The Overlord, man, that Overlord was on pin. Like every single time I rolled his wounds, he had 1 or 2 devastating wounds. He was ripped.
Yeah, Azrael didn't get any. Azrael has dev 2.
Yeah, it was literally double 6, single 6. He just ripped through. So we do get a 15 on primary. We did get a very strong last turn on secondaries and last turn in general.
Well, actually, at the end of the game, I would have made you, from the fight phase, I made you battle shock.
I'm not in engagement range.
Oh, dang it. I keep forgetting that.
But that is a final score of Dark Angels 86 to a Necron respectable 77. All right, guys, stay tuned. We're going to put out a post game where we'll talk about this a little bit. And thank you for tuning in. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again real soon. All right, guys, those just tuning in, we just finished up our matchup with the Necrons built by my children and the new Dark Angels detachment with a final score, Necrons 77 to a Dark Angels 86. I'll take that. That's a respectable score considering where the army came from. But not even just like I joke and insult like, oh boy, my kids built this. I had a lot of different versatility behind units that I was able to play the game late into it. Biggest thing is Silent King. I still feel like it's just a lot of points putting in one spot where I would have much rather had more characters and more things to do buffs off of. The Locust Heavies were huge damage all game long. Can't wait to start running that detachment since they are a mounted
Ignoring
unit.
modifiers is really good in Aura.
Ignoring modifiers is good. I didn't really get to use
it's really
that.
Good with Morty and with what he does with Death Guard. So to take that into the new detachment.
It is, but I didn't really need that here. I was able to still, I mean, when it's like, oh, -1 damage. Okay, instead of 6, you take flat 5.
I've already moved on to the fact that you're going to be playing the new Necron detachment.
I am going to be playing the new Necron
So I think the Silent King in that detachment.
I don't like the Silent King in that detachment. You guys will see on Monday what I'm coming up with, but I like to have a lot more units. But you know what? That's in the future. Dark Angels, they're the winner. They are the newest, well, one of the newest detachments. Talk to me about it. How did you like it? What was your general first impression playing this?
I really like the way that the bikes work, and the way that everything synchronizes. Uh, I do think that the optimized way to play it is 3 units of 3 bikes. I used the command squad to flip an objective late game, but I don't think I would have been in that position had I just scored more having bikes. So I think just playing the bikes and just playing the out of line of sight game and scoring points, I think they do a lot more that way. And I think that they don't really hit hard at all in combat. They did nothing to your wraiths.
Well, I mean, not much is going to do much in this build. With what I had, I specifically made the race to go, okay, I have 1 unit that you're not going to be able to destroy.
Yeah.
And once you decided not to dedicate as much to them, that's when the Canoptic Reanimator walked away. Initially, I was looking at the D3 +1 on the strat, plus D3 for the Reanimator. Then my turn, oh, I'm going to go D3 plus D3 because the Reanimator. I put them in a position that I felt like that was one of the most durable situations. The only thing that could have made them more durable is if I had a Catacomb Command Barge nearby. But that was my biggest goal, was I'm like, this is going to survive over everything else. That's why I picked them up, put them over here, and went, okay, this is where I'm going to play the game out of. This is where I'm going to try and score secondaries. And I mean, realistically, they scored me a ton of points across the course of the game. From sabotage, recover assets, holding that objective for primary, bring it down when they took down the Dreadnought.
For sure.
So I was happy with them.
I had to ignore them.
Yeah, because just the durability is done. However, the game went elsewhere.
Yeah, but I don't think the Knights would do anything to anything anyways, is what I'm saying. The Black Knights.
Okay.
They're really great at skirmishing. Like, I picked up your 5-man skirmish unit real easy. Boom, bye. You know what I mean? So using them in that sense.
They picked up the spiders.
They did pick up the spiders too. Yeah,
spiders. That's a toughness 7, 6 wound model each.
They do have some shooting.
So,
They do. They're good shooting platforms.
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that they ran into the Wraiths that happen to have a profile they don't like because they're going to go on to 4-up saves, 2 damage, which, I mean, they're 3 wounds, but 2 hits go.
I just had to throw them away to score.
You did. And sometimes, and I mean, that's what I did with the Tomb Blades. I mean, I tried to get the Lich Guard into the center. I knew it was a moot point, but I kind of wanted to start. I needed some of my units were not going to make it to the fray because I was playing back. That I needed to have you put some stuff to allow my things that could not get to center, could not draw a good line of sight, be able to have something to do. And that was go after the Terminators and try and eliminate that squad.
Sure. Do you like having the Storm Raven? Just dump things?
The Storm Raven was a very, very powerful choice.
I think so.
Because of the fact of how fast it is, what it's able to bring to the table, and even other options. I mean, the Hellblasters were good. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I have to see the Hellblasters again into something that can probably do a little more damage to them. The Raven, I don't even think the Raven's really that much of a liability, so I think they're safe inside of it if that's the route you want to continue with. But
taking down the Silent King and shooting is pretty big.
That is pretty good. That is pretty good. What are some other targets that in the meta, though, that you think they would actually...
Knights. They can take down Knights. They can take down large demons. They can take, especially if you proc the +1 to hit.
But are those things
That's what I had to do with the Storm Raven. I had to proc that +1 to hit or +1 to wound.
Are those things that you're worried about with the combat profiles that your Knights bring? That the Deathwing Knights bring? Do the Deathwing Knights bring a big enough profile to take out? Do the Deathwing Knights bring a big enough profile to take out larger things?
It's almost they do and they don't.
Okay.
So I take both. I take both. One's anti like horde, so I get additional attacks. One's anti vehicle.
I think it might almost be that might be a route to think about is go full anti vehicle with the Terminators, just so that's the role they're able to go with.
I like the anti vehicle. I also think that I can go super anti vehicle and take Chain Fists. Like if they change and they go 2 damage Storm Bolters and the Chain Fist going up to strength 12. I'll probably switch one of the Deathwing units to just being a Terminator and not a Knight.
When would that happen? When would
it's
those
just
changes?
Like rumored.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I still think having that second devastating vehicle unit, because when you look at your Raven Wing, what role do they have? You said picking up those chaff, picking up those outside units. So things like the flayed ones, things like the death marks, things that are weaker in that sense that they go after, even the Lich Guard, 2 wounds apiece. So they can run them over with the plasma talons. It allows the Terminators to go after the vehicles, pick up the Rhinos. The Rhino that happens to roll onto an objective and go, haha, I'm here and I'm going to do secondaries. I'm going to contain them and do
Ironically,
that.
the
They
bikes
crack.
can do that too because they have grenades and they have anti-vehicle,
I
anti-monster.
believe Terminators have grenades too.
I don't think Terminators do.
I really do. Well, at this point, you're seeing at the bottom either they do or they don't, because we're going to look this up afterwards and see. I'm pretty sure they have grenades.
I can also trade to a couple Outrider units. The Outriders are pretty good at clearing chaff too. They're 80 points, so I save 10.
Talk to Lane about that first. Lane's been running the Outriders and other detachments, and he has not been a big fan of them. So I would definitely talk
just for durability and scoring. All I'm using them for is scoring.
I like those Talons. The Talons are strong. They're combat strong. They go into those smaller units. They're fine. The only reason that they got walled was they ran into the Wraiths, and these guys got tank shocked and smacked by my command company, my commanding unit. So they also failed devastating wounds from the Overlord, who just, I swear, I'm going to look back and count. I feel like he did like 8 to 10 devastating wounds over the course of the game. Just he was hot. So they were fine. They cleared the flayed ones. They scored the points. This one got in here. They scored the points that you needed to. They did exactly what you needed them to. The only thing would be the Terminators being able to crack open vehicles. It's something to consider, you know, however it may feel.
I think I would have loved to not have overkilled the Silent King and seen the Terminators go into the Silent King.
Yeah, that would definitely been the ideal play. I think you did go a little hot with the Hellblasters, pun intended. But you did get a little hot with it, but I mean, a lot of it came down to just rolling 4-up invulns. Like if I could have spiked the 4-up invulns and completely stopped it. You had a good.
But math happened.
Your hits and wounds were about average. Maybe I'd say like 1 above, but they were about average. My saves were a little bit below average, which means the king dies. Okay. At the same time, too, what happens if I go and throw? You go, oh, I've done it to Lane. 15 wounds. I roll 13 4-ups.
Oh yeah, you've done it to me.
Now, yeah. Now I go, okay, I lose a rock. And so that's one of the things that definitely, it's a dice game at that point.
Yeah.
But definitely not killing the Silent King would have been better for you, because you did kill him down to the single wound too. We didn't even talk about that, is that you had him down, like literally it was 16 damage, 16 wounds, dead. And I spent a CP to try to reroll it. I did. Either way, it wasn't meant to be. I'm happy with the overall performance of the Necrons. I take my 77 as very respectful. I think I did fine. Dark Angels, there's a lot of defense there. It's very difficult when you start stacking the buffs and suddenly the Terminators are -1 to hit, -1 wound, -1 damage, -1 this, that, -1 command point, -1 point to the scoreboard, -1 secondary. They just -1 everything. You get -1 dice. That's all. Just -1. If you have to ask a number, the Deathwing Knights just say -1.
Fair.
That's it. All right, guys. Well, Nico, thank you very much for making it over. It's definitely going to be busy in the holiday season. Hopefully, we get you on here some more.
Sure.
Definitely love to see the Thousand Sun detachment possibly and see what that runs.
Yeah.
I know you're not too excited, but might be fun for this, especially because there's other detachments too. Who knows? Maybe the Grey Knight one won't be entertaining, and we'll do Grey Knights and Thousand Suns. Little battle of the Psychers.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.